No, you ain't going. I'm going on a sidewalk, bro.
Hey, why don't you stand out there?
This is a sidewalk, bro.
I don't want you getting run over.
Dude, this is a sidewalk.
You're gonna get run over.
This is a sidewalk.
I know sidewalk. You're gonna get run over, man.
It's blocked to RMTD.
What?
It's blocked to RMTD.
This is a sidewalk, bro.
I know, but it's RMTD.
You know this is so I can come over here to get out of the street.
I want you to get run over.
You're not gonna put your hands on me, sir.
I don't want to put your hands. You just leave.
Thank you. I don't want to leave. I want to sit right here. You got people sitting here. This is public, bro.
Yeah, I told you from the beginning. Just say, don't bother us. We don't bother you guys.
For sure, buddy. And dude stopped here with his music, and I said hi to him, and he got out and said, I can't be on a public sidewalk.
And now
he's coming back again. I'm on the sidewalk, bro.
After that clip, I doubt that either one of these morons needs an introduction. Welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. I am the Lucid Dream, and as you saw, we are headed back to Illinois to continue to look for tyranny, this time outside of the bus station. First and foremost, thank you to all of my channel members and subscribers. Without you, I would not be here. So as always, every day, thank you. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of the hardworking men and women at the Rockford Metro Transit District, Metro Enforcement, and anyone who has to come in contact with either of these idiots on a daily basis. Let's go ahead and get started.
Right now, but I go on
Place for employment?
I do like odd jobs here and there.
So
just
self-employed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the incident. Do you remember what day it was?
It was the 14th.
Okay.
Of last month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding was this occurred over at RMTD.
For sure.
Okay. So what was going on that you were at RMTD?
Why was I there?
Yeah.
Initially we were just walking around, just gathering, content for a film, just filming the areas. We hit the Lafayette down there, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And then we were just doing, my car was parked at the Winnebago County Justice Center. So we were eventually going back that way. We did our little lab, we were just out filming. So then we seen the bus station, that's a public building, they got public funds there, it's publicly funded. Mm-hmm. So we do FOIAs and stuff, we get FOIAs information from the public and stuff like that. So we were so we can go in there and get a FOIA. So we were seeing the bus, we were walking on the sidewalk, coming in and filming. And then as soon as we get in there, the two security guards, there was only one there at the time. Mm-hmm. Taller gentleman, they're both brothers, I believe. Okay. And the taller gentleman approached us right away, called us kind of enemies and whatnot, and we just...
What's that, buddy?
You guys recording?
Yeah, is that alright?
You guys TV or? Recording. So you have to take that permission from upstairs.
Oh no. That's not how it works.
They don't allow people working there.
No, it's for public building, right?
Yeah, I know, but you have to take that. We have the media.
Yeah, but there's not even any signs on the door, so I'm
His name Orlando, so you have to guys talk to him about recording.
Oh no, that's not how it works. So do what you gotta do.
At that point, we told them that they were going to call the police. I guess the police had been called. They had called the police, which we were going to stick around and wait for the police. We just weren't going to leave right away. So as we were leaving, we asked the police. He said the Vince McLean guy told us we can record. First he said we couldn't record him. And then he was like, you guys can record me. Everything's fine, everything. We're just doing pictures of the building. We took our camera around and pictures of the building and whatnot. And then...
yes, sir, what's up?
Can I get a freedom of information request form?
A freedom of information request form? That's something you gotta do upstairs at the office.
You guys have forms here too?
Not down here. That stuff is upstairs with the main office at the receptionist.
You sure? Can you go ask for me? Can I get a form?
Hmm?
Can I fill one out here? If I give you a blank sheet of paper, I believe you can fill one out.
If I give you a blank sheet of paper?
Yeah, I can fill one out with a blank sheet of paper.
Like I said, this is typically like a cashier and reception and dispatch. So
Okay. All right.
Down here, we don't really handle that kind of thing at all down here.
Okay. Yeah, if you give me a blank sheet of paper, I could fill one out, and then you could just forward it to whoever it needs to be forwarded to, and then you get back with me.
Yeah, but I think we actually do have a freedom of information form upstairs.
Do you have one here that you can just print out for me?
No, but hold on. Let me call the risk manager here.
Thank you, buddy.
Hold on.
I'll be right over here.
Hold on. If you're going to record,
That's fine.
get you the help and assistance you need.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's fine.
Hey, Drex, I got a guy down here with a camera, and he's requesting a Freedom of Information form. 2 guys. Okay, there's actually one online for it. Yes, we got one online at our website.
Can you guys print me one out, or can you give me a blank sheet of paper I can fill one out?
He wants me to give him a blank sheet of paper and hand him
Do I go?
Give him, let him fill one out. Okay. Alright, I thought we may have forms.
Are they kicking us out? What happened?
Oh, you're really... Okay, actually, if you're printing one out for him, let's go ahead and print one out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I could just take it home and then do that. That'd be great, man.
Yeah, we're gonna print one out off the website. That's where it's at.
For sure, buddy.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, we're printing one out.
All right. Thank you. You can help. Can I get your name, sir? Can I get your name, buddy?
What's up?
Can I get your name? I can't get your name.
Okay. Give us a second. We're working on the form for you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
It's on the website available for everybody.
For sure.
What's up?
What time is 6 come?
What's up, man?
6. Kilburn.
Oh, Kilburn? Oh, there is some more, ma'am. Where are you trying to go? Yeah, the last Kilburn was at 4:30. What?
For real?
Yeah. Okay, well.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
What time does 3 come? The Huffman come?
Alright.
What time are you guys close? What time are you guys close?
We close at 11:15.
11:15.
Yes.
So we're closed then? You guys are closed right now?
No, we're open.
Oh,
You're
okay.
getting service. We're just printing something out you could
you
have done
said-
for yourself on the internet.
Right. I can come here and get a form too, though, buddy.
That's a motherfucking stop it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, it actually does need to be filled out on the internet, technically. But here's a printout of the form.
Actually, technically, I can just fill it out on a blank. I can fill it out on a blank sheet of paper, and then you could just forward it to whoever it needs to be forwarded to. That's not my job.
There's actually a form.
Right. But the actual form is a blank sheet of paper too. If you want to go and look at the laws and stuff for Illinois, there's not a specific form for FOIAs. You hear what I'm saying?
Okay, but we actually have a form with us. That
That's
you fill
great.
out
That's wonderful. I can.
for us to help you.
That's wonderful.
A Freedom of Information form.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. When I'm done, thank you. I'll give it to, turn it in to you.
I guess you can turn it in to me, but you can turn it in upstairs, and the guy that takes care of all these Freedom of Information requests.
You're saying upstairs? You guys got it upstairs here?
Yeah, same building.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
You guys have a good one. How you doing, buddy? Can I get your name?
Vince McLean, and you do not have permission to record me for private use.
For private
You're
use?
in public, and you work for the public, so
Yeah,
that's too
but
bad.
you guys are intentionally recording me. at
Yes,
this point in time.
we're allowed to.
Is this open to the public? Is this open to
Yeah,
the?
this is a
You ever
public
heard of the
space.
First
Thank you.
Amendment?
Thank you. You keep that in
The
mind
First Amendment-
when something
The First
something
Amendment
happens in here or
protection.
something. You know?
You guys
And also
are
said,
actually harassing
no, actually
people
we're
down
not.
here.
We would already been on our way. They said they're calling the
you're
cops.
making everyone here at work uncomfortable.
No,
Where
we're
do you
not.
guys work at?
We
How
weren't
about
even
someone
recording
shove a
you. We were
camera in your
recording the
guys'
building.
face for 10 minutes?
Sir, I
weren't
didn't come
paying
here.
for
I come here to get my
Yeah, you are. You're
documents.
still here. You're still doing it. You're harassing my guards.
We're not
dude.
harassing you guards.
Like,
They're harassing us.
You guys see the lady
Threatening
at
to
the
call the
window
cops
stand
on
away
us.
from you guys?
When I'm protecting
Sir,
officers,
this film will show you who harassed who.
No, actually, we were fine on the 40.
The Vince McLean guy said we can record it. He said, "You guys, I want you to record this. The cops are not going to be here. It takes a while for them to be here. If something's not violent, you'll be surprised if they come here, you know, within a reasonable amount of time." He said, "Okay, well, we're not doing nothing. If we were doing something illegal, you know, the cops would have already been here." So then we were just doing our business. He said bye to us. He said, "You guys are fine." He actually escorted his guards to go do their job just to leave us alone.
We'll tell you guys what. How would you?
What kind of job you got, bud?
You need to call
But how would you guys?
Is there?
There's
Why don't you get back to work then if there's multiple jobs?
You know what, you guys?
Somebody else might take your job then.
They had it.
There's no need to get so
UBS they had it. Amazon they had it.
Hey,
no need
You
to
guys
get so
looking for a
elevated.
job? You can find
Hey, MZ, just one of you guys go out there and continue doing our thing for the.
There's no need
There
to
you
get so
go.
elevated. Yeah,
There you go.
you're dismissed.
don't say a word to them because they're here just to get a rise out of you.
Hey.
Okay.
And have one just keep an eye on us, you know, because the two brothers were there. So then the one they got dismissed, you know, he dismissed them. So she said, we're not going to stay here long. He said, yeah, they closed in like 15 minutes. They were closing for kind of a shift change or something. So yeah, we're just going to leave. As soon as the building closes, we're going to leave. So we left. And we went kind of by the buses area and just filmed the people were getting on the buses. We weren't by the area where you can go. We were by areas you can go. We were just filming the buses leaving. And then we just walked out. And then this gentleman, Joseph, we were just filming and we seen his car. I was saying bye to the, you know, I got a little YouTube travel channel. I was saying bye to everybody, you know, and then this Joseph guy comes out with his car and his music was blaring. Like, I send you guys a video and he goes, doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like, you know, did you guys come here for us? You know, did you come here for us? He said, no, I did not get a call on the radio or nothing about you guys filming or nothing. So I'm like, okay. He said, you can't film here. I said, I'm on a public sidewalk. This is a sidewalk. He said, you can't film here. And he got out of his car and then he grabbed me up. You know what I'm saying? Pushed me on the buses. And like you said, it's all on the video.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so.
And he said I needed a permit to film, you know, on the sidewalk. Is what the police report says as well.
So just to back up, who is Vince? Is Vince?
Vince is the bigger gentleman. He's got like.
Is he a Metro or is he
he's an RTD.
Okay.
Clerk or whatever does the bus tickets.
Okay.
Yes, and he told me I could film it, which I got that on film as well. I told him.
Get your name.
Vince McLean, and you do not have permission to record me for private use.
Yeah, 720 IOCS 526-4 says I can record in here. This is a lot.
So, yeah, I got curious after I heard Tubby ramble off this Illinois statute because they have been wrong about every single thing they have ever said or quoted, and I didn't figure this one to be any different, but and it's still not different because they're still wrong, but this is just funny. So 720 ILCS 5-26-4 is a statute about unauthorized video recording and live video transmission, but this is a statute directly concerning like peeping Tom behavior. So it makes me curious on why they are so intimately familiar with this statute. This statute has nothing to do with filming in public. I mean, the word nipple is used in this statute. I'm going to link it for you so you can read it. But the word nipple is used. This is not a statute about filming in public. Even when you go to the exemptions of the statute, it talks about the making of a video record or transmission of a live video by law enforcement officers pursuant to a criminal investigation, which is otherwise lawful. So essentially saying that law enforcement officers are exempt to certain parts of this statute. The second would be making a video record or transmission of live video by correctional officers for security reasons or for investigations of alleged misconduct involving a person committed to the Department of Corrections. So in other words, the Department of Corrections can video certain intimate circumstances if there is alleged misconduct between like a guard and an inmate. And the last exemption is the making of a video record or transmission in a locker room by a reporter or news media. Where the reporter or news media has been granted access to the locker room by the proper authorities. So none of it applies to filming in a fucking bus station. What are they thinking?
And you can go ahead and record this.
Where have you been recording since we got here?
Okay, well, yeah, you can record this if you want. Because of the guards that we got and the fact that they're strict down here, you are the safest you have ever been on this property.
Well, you know, sir, I didn't feel so safe when that man came up to me with a gun. He had a gun and he came up to me and I have a camera. What was I going to do?
But that's his job to carry.
It's his job to carry. Of course. Well, this is my job to carry this camera. I'm a free citizen.
Yeah, but okay, you guys seriously think that you're the first people in the last 3 months that have done this?
Here at this building?
Yes, probably so.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any videos.
No videos. We deal with this all the time. That's why there's a standard procedure to it.
For sure.
So I had to boost the volume way up on this clip in order to hear it. The entire time that they were there, the only time they were given permission to film is when Vince was speaking to them and he was telling them, yes, you can record this if you want to. That's it. And this is after their interactions with the security guards. This is after they were told they are not allowed to record for personal use. This is after all of that. They were never given permission to film in the building. They were given permission to film for this one interaction when it came to the responsibilities of the security guards, the fact that these people have dealt with frauditors before and there is standard procedure because these morons don't understand the law.
Filming and you spoke to Vince, were you inside?
Inside.
Like their hub or
lobby.
whatever?
Yeah, I was in the lobby.
Okay.
Yep.
And you said something about FOIA. What were you looking to FOIA?
Just general information.
Okay.
Yeah.
From them?
RGD, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so originally I'm taking that your story or what happened was you parked downtown.
Right.
You were filming around downtown.
Filming around downtown.
And in the process you ended up at RMTV.
Right, yep.
Okay.
Found FOIA, and then I got my information from them, and I was just leaving, generally just leaving, and the gentleman just pulled up in his car, and you guys seen the video, and his music was going, and I'm like, hi, did you come here for us? You know, he caught me with the music going. If his music wasn't even going, I probably would have just, his music was loud, and I was like, and I seen his uniform on. And he had his uniform on, so I was like, did you come here for us?
Drawing attention to himself.
He was drawing attention to himself, and I thought he would come here for us. The way he was parking, he was kind of, drawing attention. He rolled up his windows, and on my buddy's film, he says, I will arrest you myself. And he come out of his car and just started yanking on me. I said, what are you doing, man? I'm on a public sidewalk here. There's no, you guys just go straight to violence? You don't do that, man. You don't.
So when you heard the music and you saw the uniform, did you initially think that was a police officer, or did you know that was?
I didn't know if it was a police officer or not.
You just saw a uniform.
Just saw a uniform on.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then he did have his Metro on, but it was covered with his body camera. And then he said he was at Metro and whatnot, and he shoved me out to the buses. The buses were coming, and then they let me back on the sidewalk. Did you see that as well? On my YouTube channel, he let me back on the sidewalk, and we were arguing for a minute, just casual conversation, just like this. I didn't raise my tone at all with him at all.
Okay. So here's my next clarifying question. When you were with Vince, before Vince, it was with the Metro officers there.
Correct.
At any time did they ask you to leave? And is that where Vince said it was okay? Do you remember?
They didn't really tell us to leave. They were like,
okay, just not film.
My buddy was more encounter at first with the Metro guy.
Okay.
And then I was over there getting the FOIA, and he had
okay.
talked with the Metro guy a little bit, and then he called his brother up. And then they were going to call the cops, and they said that nothing's going to happen. Just leave. Nothing's further going to happen. And we told them we're just going to leave. Nothing's a big deal is going to happen here. We're just out of here. We're just doing our paperwork, and we'll leave. And they addressed us that wasn't the spot to get the FOIA. The spot was upstairs. Okay. There's a different spot, and I didn't know that.
Upstairs at
RMTV. Yes, and it's not where we were going because I didn't know where we were going. It's actually if you walk the other way on the sidewalk around the back, I guess there's an upper stairs, which they do stuff like that. I didn't know that either, so I just went to the front desk asking for FOIA. Right.
Reasonable.
Okay. Reasonable. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all. And he actually told us we can record him.
Get your name.
Vince McLean, and you do not have permission to record me for private use.
For private.
Okay. So, in this whole purpose, I don't have any stake in the game. I want to make sure people get charged if they committed a crime, but I have to do research. I have to look into things. Yeah. In doing so, I pull up reports, both with you, both with Joe, Metro, whatever. In there, I see that one of the reports said you're a First Amendment.
I mean, I do that, but I'm not really that.
Hold on.
Right.
Explain it to me, because I've never dealt with any of this. So.
Well, see, we're just getting awareness for the public, on our exercising our rights.
Okay.
We have rights, and if we don't use them, we lose them. Just like what happened here. Okay. This should not have taken a month and a half to have charges. You guys should have put charges on him that day. And I argued with the sergeant on duty, Vince. And I argued with him on the phone. It was like a pissing match, dude. It should not be like that. You guys should just do your job, and it should be.
Okay.
So the other thing that this whining piece of garbage has been screaming about at the top of his lungs ever since this incident started was that the Metro security officer who bitch walked him off of the property, who was doing his job, was going to be charged, that charges were imminent, that the police had contacted him to let him know that he had spoken to detectives. And of course, none of that happened because none of it was ever going to happen. So this is, again, from the police report. I sent the felony review team the video of this incident and reviewed the case over the phone. On Thursday morning, I received an email stating that after reviewing the video, charges would be declined at this time. Big surprise. I've stated this all along. They weren't going to ever charge this gentleman. He was doing his job, and he was doing it well.
But from there, I can tell you the sidewalk thing is not as clear as people think. So I've had.
Not as clear.
Yeah.
So they don't own that sidewalk thing because I FOIA'd the request from the city and they're saying
I can tell you that RMTD cleans the sidewalks and manages it per the city. I don't know if that meant they felt they owned it. I don't know that part.
So throughout this entire debacle, these two morons have continuously attempted to reinforce their position that this is public sidewalk, when in fact it is not. So directly from the police report, if you remembered back to my previous videos, I explained that private property can in fact include a public access sidewalk, but it is still private property. So from the police report, Dennis advised that Metro Security had been advised from RMTD that the sidewalk is their property. However, the public has access to it. Dennis stated he would email me this documentation along with any reports and video. I later received an email from Dennis that was an email from Drexel McClavin from RMTD to Dennis at Metro Enforcement discussing signs to post, one of which is a red sign stating private property, RMTD property extends to the roadway. And the second sign was for no videography or photography allowed in transit centers. Along with the email was a copy of the internal incident report filed by Joseph concerning the incident with Tony at the RMTD bus terminal. I attach both documents to evidence.com.
All right, Rockford Metro Press family, we're back at the Winnebago County Justice Center. We just had court with the judge about the stalking PO against Rockford Metro Transit Authority, and we got it extended for a whole year. The judge was biased against free press, said we were on, kind of was on our side, kind of going against our side, didn't know too much about what was really going on, misinterpreted the law quite a few times in the meeting, told us we can appeal it to an appellate court for a higher decision, which that's what we have to do to get any justice around here. So that's what we plan on doing. They said we have 14 days to take off any of our videos we have of the inside of RMTD along with everybody else.
So in their misguided and ignorant attempts to uncover tyranny at the bus station, the only thing that these two have gotten themselves is a year-long order of protection against them from RMTD. That's it. It's hard to believe it gets any stupider, but it does. Because this troglodyte is going to sit there and claim that he knows more about the Constitution than the judge does. It is unreal. This man is a walking example of insanity. He has so many people telling him, no, look, you're wrong. Here is why you are wrong. And yet he's still going to claim he's right. It's beyond stupid at this point. And that brings us to this video. This is a recent video right after court where he again tries to go into the sheriff's office with the camera after he has been told, you're not coming in here with the camera. This is a courthouse. There is a judge's order in place. And these morons keep trying. It's comical, but it's so pathetic at the same time.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
You already know. Can't bring it in. You gotta meet somebody?
Yeah, I'm going out there to file a complaint.
Yeah.
All I got is my
Hang on, you can't bring the camera there, though.
Says
That's fine. I'm not going through it.
Says who?
Camera's not being allowed in, I'm sorry.
Says who? We already went through this and you already let us allow
it.
it.
Mind stepping back so this gentleman can get in here?
Can you bring your supervisor here?
Yeah, we need to file.
Because I'm ready to come through. Can you bring your supervisor here? Can you call your supervisor?
Sign says you can't bring the camera.
I don't care what a sign says.
I understand you don't care.
Right? Signs don't mean anything.
To you, they don't. I understand.
So can you call your supervisor so I can file this complaint?
Oh, we can wait out here. We just want to file a complaint.
Go get it.
We'll call somebody. You want
Call
to
them.
have a seat over there? We'll call
I don't want to have a seat.
Okay.
Call somebody.
Well, I can't have you stand
Can you
here.
show me the judge's order, judge's rule?
I can't have you stand here blocking it.
There's not blocking anybody.
You stand out there, you can come.
I'm not blocking anybody, sir. I will move.
Come on in, sir.
What's the deal, man? You already let us through here. What's the deal? What is it? What is the problem?
You didn't have cameras last time.
Yes, I had the camera last time. I pointed it right at you. You let me walk through it with your buddy. You don't remember that? No. I can show you the film.
Nope. That's all I got. That's all right. Oh, might be my shoes. Your shoes?
Might be.
How about the belt?
Nope, it's plastic.
Can I get your name, buddy?
Nope, come on in.
What's that?
Clunk.
It's Clunk?
Yeah.
That's what you tell the judge, it's Clunk? Can I get your badge number?
That's my name. You asked my
Oh,
name.
I thought you were just clunking and then you said it was Clunk.
It's my name.
I believe you. No, there's not a problem. Can I get your badge number?
You got badge number.
You don't have badge numbers?
Cat, you call what's his name down there?
Yeah, try to call him.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Can I come through and file and do my business?
Not with the camera.
Not with the camera?
Nope.
Because why?
Our Chief Judge says
Chief
so.
Judge says who? Is that a law? Is that a law or? Can I get the Chief Judge's name?
I'm done talking to you,
You're
sir.
done talking to me.
Yep.
And you're going to impede my way from coming in here.
Yes, I am.
I've attempted a couple of times to suggest to these two morons that they go watch the Magic School Bus episode on the U.S. government. I don't believe they have any concept or are completely oblivious to the fact that we have three major branches of government, one of them being the judicial branch. Considering their obsession with the Constitution, or at least their interpretation of the Constitution, I feel like they should probably know what the judicial branch does and what powers it holds. But 100%, a sitting judge has the ability to make a rule within his courthouse that is backed by law that can prohibit filming. That rule may not be a law in itself, but it is backed by the fact that that judge has that power. So yes, it is still has the power of law. It has the weight of law. It may not be a law, but the law that gives the judge his power gives it the weight of law. And these two are just apparently too stupid to understand that, because they continue to do this over and over and over again. It's not going to surprise me one of these days. These two are just going to disappear off social media because they're going to end up in prison. I think that is just fact at this point. They are so stupid. They are going to end up in prison for no other reason than they refuse to educate themselves.
You're welcome.
Why do you hate the public, man?
I'm real good friends with Kevin Goldie.
Me too.
Why do you have so much disdain for the public? But you're a servant. Why do you have so much disdain? What is the problem with me filming in public? What would be the problem if I had my camera or my phone? What would be the difference?
I got no problem with you, so.
So I can leave my camera out here and put my camera on my phone then? Is that what you're saying?
Bring it through here.
I can't bring my phone through here neither. My phone's got a camera in it as well. I'm sure that gentleman's got a camera on him as well. Gentlemen, do you have a camera on you? He said he ain't got nothing on him. He's got a phone. No, he just went by with his phone. His phone got a camera in it. Okay. You just talked to who, sir? Okay, cool. Thank you.
You have to know who it is. Is it Robert or Warmoth?
Yeah, is Warmoth here? Warmoth? Doesn't work today. Yeah, we would have already been left. I would have filed my complaint and left. It'd already been gone. There's no need to call a supervisor here.
I'm pretty sure it's Robert.
I want to proceed in here and do my business. Right, because you guys are not letting me continue with my business.
It's Roberts today, right?
What's that, sir? Because this gentleman's, can I come through here? No. That's why I want a supervisor.
That's why I'm calling you a supervisor. Hey, somebody wants to talk. Yes.
The first time I clarified with Judge Lori that the upstairs only was the courthouse.
You talked before Sergeant Roberts.
For sure, he's on his way again? Yeah. Can we have somebody else, because he's actually the person I'm having the complaint on, so I'd like to have somebody else come down here.
Can he take his own complaint?
Can he take his own complaint then?
Gentlemen, you're blocking my winches here. Please allow these people in here.
Please allow us in here.
Nope. Thank you, sir.
We're some kind of threat? You guys got some private information back there?
I'd say these two are a definite threat to the future of humanity. If they're to pass along this level of stupidity to any spawn they might have in the future, I don't think it bodes well for the survival of the human race. I really don't.
You're going to take your own complaint? Can I get it stamped and filed and I'll be on my way?
What do you want to complain about?
I want to complain on you. I already have it all written up. I want you to stamp it and get me on my way. I'd already been on my way. Can you stamp that and I'd be on my way?
Stamp it?
Stamp it? How do I know you're just going to throw it in the garbage? It's a complaint on you.
Oh. Okay.
Right. So can you stamp it and give me a copy of it or something? I'd be on my way.
Did you make a copy of it?
No, I didn't. I would like you to stamp it, put your signature on it, and stamp it, give me a copy, or give me the copy back saying that you got it and just throw it in the garbage.
Okay.
And
I'd have been on my way.
I like your mustache.
Brolard already said we're cool to film out here. That's your lieutenant, am I correct? He'll be in tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow then. I'll be here every day. Matter of fact, you guys are my type priority right now. Maybe I'll get a stalking order on you guys next. For a year. All you gotta do is go down there and cry. Can you stamp it too there, sir?
I think my tripod intimidated him last time.
Must have.
Scary guy with one standing.
Cool, thank you. See, that's a public servant right there. See, he just didn't shoot me out the building. He could have kicked me out like he did last time. But now he's thinking he should help me out, help out the public. That's what you guys are here for. Been on my way, man. Now you guys just stirred up some stuff for who? For the internet? For who? For who to see, man? I don't care who sees it. You guys should.
It is driving him absolutely insane that they are ignoring him, and I love it. You know, he's so desperate for anything to go viral. He claimed in his police interview that his last video went viral all around the world, or the sidewalk video I think he was referring to. And I hate to break it to him, but the technical definition of viral is like 5 million views, which his sidewalk video, even with AFA reposting it, got maybe 15,000. I know it wasn't all that many. So no, not even close to viral. It's really kind of pathetic at this point. We are going to jump to the walk of shame because I don't normally talk about the walk of shame because I feel like it's an overused term. But if there is ever anything that applies, it's this.
There you have it, folks. We got the complaint signed, copied. Probably wasn't too happy about that. Probably didn't think we were going to show back up. Make him take a complaint on himself and shook his hand. Told him I'm intent to sue him. That's why I put in the complaint. So they're done. There you have it, folks. We'll post more for you later on. Like I said, the judge extended the stalking order against RMTD. They went against the Constitution. The judge was very biased against us, was on our side, against our side, didn't know what he wanted to do. Had not a clue about the First Amendment. Told us we were pretty much enemies of the state. And yeah, alrighty, folks. Thank you.
So there you have it, guys. He was not allowed inside. He was allowed to file his frivolous complaint, which I'm sure will be given the attention and weight that it merits. And eventually he will find out, after he has one or two attorneys laugh in his face, that he will not be filing a lawsuit. He is going to continue being the absolute failure that he has always been, until he lands up in prison. But that's another story. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and I will catch you on the next one.